Zixlar's antennae twitched nervously as his small scout ship approached the third planet of this unremarkable yellow star. The Galactic Survey Corps had tasked him with cataloging this unexplored system, but nothing in his training had prepared him for what he was about to discover. As he entered the planet's atmosphere, his sensors came alive with activity. The sheer diversity of life forms was staggering, but what truly caught his attention was the abundance of large bipedal creatures spread across the planet's surface. They seemed to be the dominant species, having constructed vast cities and complex technologies. Cloaking his ship, Zixlar descended for a closer look. He watched in fascination as these beings, humans, he soon learned from intercepting their communications, went about their daily lives. They moved with a purpose and energy that both intrigued and unsettled him. What truly astonished Zixlar was the range of environments these humans inhabited, from scorching deserts to frozen tundras, from mountain peaks to ocean depths. They had adapted to survive and thrive in conditions that would be lethal to most species he knew. As day turned to night, Zixlar observed a group of humans gathered around a flickering fire. They were laughing, sharing food, and telling stories. The scene stirred something within him, a sense of warmth and community that transcended species barriers. But his wonder soon turned to horror as he witnessed the darker side of humanity. In another part of the world, humans engaged in violent conflict, wielding weapons of terrifying destructive power. Their capacity for both compassion and cruelty was unlike anything Zixlar had encountered in his galactic travels. Overwhelmed by the contradictions he was observing, Zixlar decided to risk a closer encounter. He landed his ship in a remote forest and, disguising himself as best he could, ventured into a nearby human settlement. The cacophony of sights, sounds, and smells assaulted his senses. Humans rushed past him, each absorbed in their own concerns. Vehicles roared by, spewing noxious fumes that made Zixlar's respiratory filaments recoil. Yet amidst the chaos, he also witnessed acts of kindness, a human helping an elder across a busy street, another sharing food with a homeless individual. As he wandered through a park, Zixlar's attention was drawn to a group of small humans, children, he realized, playing on colorful structures. Their laughter and carefree nature touched something deep within him, reminding him of his own offspring back home. Lost in thought, Zixlar didn't notice the approaching human until it was too late. A small girl, no more than 5 years old, tugged at his hastily constructed disguise. "Mister, why do you look so funny?" she asked, her eyes wide with curiosity rather than fear. Panic seized Zixlar. His mission was supposed to be one of covert observation, not direct contact. But as he looked into the child's innocent eyes, he felt compelled to respond. I'm not from around here," he stammered, his translator struggling to convey the right tone. The girl giggled. "You talk funny too. Want to play with us?" Before Zixlar could respond, an adult human, presumably the child's parent, rushed over. "Sophie, what have I told you about talking to St?" The woman's voice trailed off as she took in Zixlar's alien appearance. Her eyes widened in shock, but to Zixlar's surprise, there was no screaming, no panic. Instead, the woman slowly knelt down to her daughter's level. "Sophie, honey, I think our new friend might be from very, very far away. Why don't we show him some of that human hospitality your grandma's always talking about?" As the woman extended a tentative hand in greeting, Zixlar realized that his mission, and indeed, the future of galactic relations, had just taken an unexpected turn. The humans, it seemed, were full of surprises, and he had a feeling this was only the beginning. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with an energy not seen in centuries. Representatives from 1,000 worlds filled the vast amphitheater, their varied forms a testament to the diversity of life in the cosmos. At the center of it all stood Zixlar, still shaken from his encounter on Earth, preparing to present his findings to the assembled delegates. High Counselor Vexalia, a towering figure with iridescent scales, called the session to order. "Esteemed colleagues, we have gathered to discuss a matter of utmost importance. Scout Zixlar has discovered a new sentient species, one that could alter the very fabric of our galactic society. As Zixlar recounted his experiences on Earth, projecting images and data for all to see, murmurs of astonishment and concern rippled through the chamber. The humans' adaptability, their technological progress, and their complex social structures both impressed and alarmed the gathered representatives. They have mastered atomic power, Zixlar explained, yet they still wage war among themselves. They create art that can move one to tears, yet they pollute their own world without regard. They are a paradox, capable of great compassion and terrible destruction. The chamber erupted into chaos as delegates clamored to voice their opinions. Ambassador Kroll of the militant Tix Imperium was the first to speak. "These humans are clearly a threat," he bellowed, his exoskeleton clattering with agitation. "Their warlike nature and rapid technological advancement make them too dangerous. We must contain them before they discover interstellar travel." Murmurs of agreement followed Kroll's words, but they were quickly challenged by Naya, the serene representative of the Lumina Collective. Her bioluminescent form pulsed gently as she spoke. "Friends, let us not be hasty. Yes, the humans have flaws, but do we not all? Their capacity for growth and change is remarkable. With guidance, they could become valuable members of our galactic community." The debate raged on, with factions quickly forming. Some saw humans as a threat to be neutralized, others as potential allies to be cultivated. Still others argued for continued observation, hesitant to intervene in the natural development of a young species. Amidst the heated arguments, a small, unassuming figure floated to the center of the chamber. It was Zhen, last of the ancient contemplatives. The room fell silent, all eyes turning to the revered being. "In all my eons," Zhen began, its voice a soft whisper that somehow reached every corner of the vast room, "I have never encountered a species quite like these humans. They are young, yes, and their path is fraught with peril. But within them lies a spark, a potential that could reshape our understanding of the universe itself." Zhen's words carried weight, but they did little to quell the underlying tension. The Galactic Council remained divided, each faction convinced of the righteousness of their position. As the debate stretched into its fourth cycle, High Counselor Vexalia called for order. "It is clear that we cannot reach a consensus today. The discovery of the humans has raised questions that strike at the very heart of our galactic charter. We must proceed with caution." She turned to Zixlar, who had remained silent since his initial presentation. "Scout, you have first-hand experience with these humans. What course of action do you recommend?" All eyes turned to Zixlar. He thought back to his encounter with the human child and her mother, their curiosity, their unexpected acceptance. He thought of the wonders and horrors he had witnessed on Earth. The weight of his words, he knew, could shape the fate of two civilizations. "High Counselor, esteemed delegates," Zixlar began, his voice steadier than he felt, "I propose a middle path. Let us continue to observe the humans, but let us also prepare for the day when they will join us among the stars. They are capable of great good and great harm, much like ourselves. Our challenge is not to judge them, but to understand them." He paused, looking around the chamber, and perhaps in doing so, we might come to better understand ourselves. A hush fell over the grand chamber as the delegates pondered Zixlar's words. It was clear that the discovery of humanity had opened a new chapter in galactic history. What remained to be seen was whether this chapter would be one of conflict or cooperation, of fear or hope. As the session adjourned, one thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again. The sleek Galactic Survey Corps ship slipped silently into Earth's orbit, its advanced cloaking technology rendering it invisible to human detection systems. On board, a team of 4 alien researchers prepared for their most challenging mission yet, to live among humans, gathering data that would help the Galactic Council make informed decisions about Earth's future. Team leader Dr. Lurax, a cephalon known for her brilliant mind and adaptive camouflage abilities, addressed her diverse crew. "Remember, we're here to observe and understand, not to interfere. Our disguises should hold up to casual scrutiny, but we must be cautious. Any questions before we begin our descent?" Krill, the team's security specialist, flexed his powerful ursoid limbs. "What if we're discovered? The Council's non-intervention protocols are clear, but surely our safety takes precedence." "Let's hope it doesn't come to that," Lyrax replied, her tentacles rippling with concern. "If compromised, we abort immediately. Is that clear?" The team nodded in agreement. Their shuttle landed in a remote area outside a mid-sized American city. Using their advanced holographic technology, the aliens disguised themselves as human tourists and made their way into town. For Lyrax, the sensory assault was overwhelming. The cacophony of sounds, the myriad of smells, the constant movement. It was chaotic yet strangely exhilarating. She watched in fascination as humans went about their daily lives, marveling at their resilience and adaptability. Zara, the team's cultural specialist, was immediately drawn to a bustling farmer's market. The Florian's plant-based biology made her especially attuned to the variety of fruits and vegetables on display. "Look at this biodiversity," she exclaimed over their secure comm channel. "And the humans cultivate these for both sustenance and pleasure. Fascinating." As days turned into weeks, the team immersed themselves in human society. They rented an apartment, got jobs, and even made human friends. Krill, despite his initial reservations, found himself enjoying Earth's physical challenges, joining a local gym and excelling in weightlifting competitions. Epsilon, the team's technology expert, spent hours each day marveling at human innovations. "Their technology is primitive compared to ours," the synthid observed. "Yet they achieve so much with so little. Their drive to innovate is remarkable." But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The team faced constant challenges in maintaining their cover. Simple things like eating, sleeping, and human social customs often led to awkward moments. Lyrax had to frequently remind her team to blink, breathe visibly, and use only 2 arms in public. One evening, as the team gathered in their apartment to discuss their findings, a knock at the door froze them in place. "Pizza delivery," came a voice from outside. "But we didn't order any pizza," Zara whispered, her leaves rustling nervously. Krill moved to the door, ready for any threat. He opened it to find a young human male holding a box emanating a strong, unfamiliar aroma. "This is for apartment 403, right?" the delivery boy asked, looking confused. Lyrax quickly stepped in, her human disguise smiling warmly. "I'm sorry, there must be some mistake. We're 402. As the delivery boy apologized and left, the team breathed a collective sigh of relief. But the incident highlighted the constant danger of their mission. Despite the risks, their research yielded invaluable insights. They observed humans' capacity for both great kindness and shocking cruelty. They marveled at the species' ability to form deep bonds not just with each other, but with other Earth creatures. They witnessed the human drive to explore, to question, to push boundaries. But it was a chance encounter that truly changed the course of their mission. While volunteering at a local animal shelter, an activity Zora had insisted on for her research, Lyrax met a young human girl named Maya. The child was there with her class, learning about responsible pet ownership. As Lyrax helped Maya feed a litter of kittens, the girl looked up at her with wide, curious eyes. "You're different, aren't you?" Maya asked innocently. "You feel, not from here." Lyrax froze, her heart's racing. Had their cover been blown by a child? But Maya simply smiled and continued, "It's okay. My grandma says everyone's a little different. That's what makes the world interesting." In that moment, Lyrax realized that their mission had shifted. They weren't just studying humans anymore. They were forming connections, experiencing the complexity of human existence firsthand. As she looked at Maya's smiling face, Lyrax knew that the report they would send back to the Galactic Council would be very different from what they had initially expected. The humans, with all their flaws and potential, were far more than just subjects of study. They were becoming friends. The day Earth officially joined the galactic community should have been one of celebration. Instead, it nearly sparked an interstellar war. After years of covert observation and gradual revelation of alien life to humanity, the Galactic Council had finally deemed Earth ready for full integration. A grand ceremony was planned in New York City, where representatives from 100 alien species would officially welcome humanity to the cosmic stage. Ambassador Chen Wei of Earth stood before the United Nations General Assembly, now expanded to include delegates from across the galaxy. The chamber buzzed with excitement and apprehension. "Today, we take our place among the stars," Chen began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "We come in peace, eager to learn and contribute to this vast community." As Chen spoke, a delegation of Scathar, a species known for their strict adherence to protocol, shifted uncomfortably in their seats. To them, Chen's direct gaze and open palm gestures were deeply offensive, signaling aggression in their culture. Oblivious to the growing tension, Chen continued her speech, emphasizing humanity's achievements and aspirations. With each word, the Scathar grew more agitated. Suddenly, the Scathar ambassador, Kvex, leaped to his feet. "Enough of this insult," he roared, his translator struggling to convey the full depth of his outrage. "We will not stand for such blatant disrespect." The chamber erupted into chaos. Other delegations, caught off guard by the outburst, began arguing amongst themselves. Some sided with the Scathar, others defended the humans, while many simply tried to understand what was happening. Dr. Lyrax, now serving as a cultural advisor to the human delegation, realized the grave misunderstanding unfolding before her. She rushed to Ambassador Chen's side, quickly explaining the cultural faux pas. Chen, horrified at the unintended offense, tried to apologize, but her words were lost in the growing tumult. The Scathar, feeling further insulted by what they perceived as insincere apologies, stormed out of the chamber. As news of the diplomatic disaster spread, Earth's media exploded with speculation and fear. Headlines screamed of impending alien invasion, while pundits debated whether humanity was truly ready for galactic citizenship. In orbit, the Scathar battle fleet, present for the ceremony, began powering up their weapon systems. Earth's fledgling space defense force, woefully outmatched, scrambled to respond. The Galactic Council, desperate to prevent conflict, convened an emergency session. High Counselor Vexalia addressed the assembled representatives, her usual composure strained. "Esteemed colleagues, we stand on the brink of disaster," she began. "A simple misunderstanding threatens to undo cycles of progress. We must find a solution before it's too late." As diplomats argued and military leaders prepared for the worst, an unlikely hero emerged. Maya, the young girl who had befriended Lyrax years ago, now a teenager and part of a student delegation to the UN, approached the Scathar ambassador. Ignoring protocols and warnings, Maya walked directly up to Kvex. The chamber fell silent, all eyes on this unexpected confrontation. "Mr. Ambassador," Maya said, her voice clear and unafraid, "I think there's been a big misunderstanding. On Earth, looking someone in the eye means respect, not aggression. And open hands. That's to show we're not hiding anything, that we come in friendship." She extended her hand, palm up, to the towering alien. "I'm sorry we offended you. It wasn't on purpose. Can we start over?" Kvex stared at the young human, his compound eyes unreadable. The silence stretched, tension building to an almost unbearable level. Then, slowly, Kvex lowered himself to Maya's eye level. He placed his upper appendage in her outstretched hand. "Young one," he said, his voice softer than anyone had heard before, "your bravery honors us. Perhaps we have been too hasty in our judgment." A collective sigh of relief swept through the chamber. As Maya and Kvex continued to talk, human and Scathar diplomats cautiously re-engage, this time with cultural advisors like Lyrax helping to bridge the gap. The crisis had been averted, but the incident served as a stark reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. Humanity's integration into the galactic community would not be smooth or easy. Cultural misunderstandings, technological disparities, and deep-seated prejudices on all sides would need to be overcome. As the diplomats worked to salvage the situation, Dr. Lirax couldn't help but smile. In the face of potential disaster, it was the openness and adaptability of a human child that had saved the day. Perhaps, she thought, there was hope for this strange, complex species after all. The day Earth nearly went to war with the galaxy ended instead with renewed commitment to understanding and cooperation. It was a shaky first step, but a step forward nonetheless, into humanity's cosmic future. The Galactic Council's emergency alert system blared across 1,000,000 worlds. A threat unlike any other loomed on the horizon. The Void Swarm, a sentient dark matter entity that consumed everything in its path, was approaching the heart of the galaxy. High Counselor Vexalia's hologram flickered in every major city across known space. Citizens of the galaxy, we face an unprecedented crisis. The Void Swarm has already devoured 3 star systems. Our most advanced weapons seem ineffective. We call upon every species to contribute their unique skills to find a solution. On Earth, the newly formed Human Space Agency scrambled to respond. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a brilliant astrophysicist, led a team of Earth's finest minds in analyzing the Void Swarm data. It's not just consuming matter, Elena mused, her eyes fixed on holographic projections. It's rewriting the laws of physics in its wake. How do we fight something like that? As the galaxy's most advanced civilizations threw their best technologies at the problem to no avail, humanity's unique perspective began to shine through. Captain Jack Harper, a former naval officer turned space pilot, noticed something others had missed. Look at the swarm's movement pattern, he pointed out during a briefing. It's not random. It's adaptive, almost like it's learning. Elena finished, her eyes widening. It's not just consuming. It's evolving with each system it devours. This insight, born from humanity's long history of studying adaptive systems in nature and warfare, provided the first real clue in understanding the Void Swarm's nature. Meanwhile, in a small lab in Kenya, Dr. Amina Okoro had a breakthrough. Her team had been studying extremophile bacteria found in Earth's deepest ocean trenches. These organisms don't just survive in extreme conditions, she explained to the Galactic Council. They thrive by altering their environment at a quantum level. The implications were staggering. If they could adapt this bacterial mechanism to work on a cosmic scale, they might be able to create a firewall that could halt the Void Swarm's advance. As the galaxy rallied around this human-inspired plan, another unexpected contribution came from an unlikely source. 14-year-old Hiroshi Tanaka, a coding prodigy from Japan, developed an algorithm that could predict the Void Swarm's movements with uncanny accuracy. I based it on swarm intelligence studies and online multiplayer game theory, Hiroshi explained, barely containing his excitement as he presented to a room full of alien scientists. The Void Swarm may be powerful, but it follows patterns. We can use that against it. The Galactic Council was astounded. In mere weeks, this young species had provided insights and solutions that had eluded far more advanced civilizations for years. As the day of confrontation approached, humanity's never-say-die attitude proved invaluable. When the initial deployment of the quantum firewall faltered, it was a team of human engineers who worked tirelessly to adapt and improve the technology on the fly. The final battle against the Void Swarm was a sight to behold. A massive fleet, representing every spacefaring race in the galaxy, faced off against the encroaching darkness. At its heart were ships crewed by humans, carrying the adapted bacteria, and guided by Hiroshi's predictive algorithms. Captain Harper led the charge, his voice steady as he commanded the fleet. Remember, we're not just fighting for Earth. We're fighting for every world, every species, every future that might be snuffed out if we fail. Let's show the galaxy what humanity can do. The battle raged for days. Ships were lost, sacrifices were made, but slowly, inexorably, the tide began to turn. The quantum firewall, enhanced by human ingenuity, began to push back the void swarm. In the end, it was Elena Rodriguez who delivered the final blow. Using a daring theory she had developed, she reconfigured the firewall to not just repel the void swarm, but to collapse it in on itself. As the last tendrils of the void swarm dissipated, a cheer went up across the galaxy. Against all odds, they had won, and humanity had played a crucial role. In the aftermath, the Galactic Council convened to honor Earth's contributions. High Counselor Vexalia addressed the assembly, her voice filled with genuine admiration. Today, we owe our continued existence to the newest members of our galactic family. The humans have shown us that sometimes the youngest eyes see clearest, and the freshest perspectives can solve the oldest problems. As medals were awarded and accolades given, Dr. Lurax watched from the sidelines, her heart swelling with pride. She thought back to her first encounters with humans, to all the doubts and fears the galaxy had harbored about this young, volatile species. Now, as she saw humans and aliens embracing, sharing stories of the battle, and making plans for the future, she knew that humanity had found its place among the stars. They had proved themselves not just equals, but in many ways, saviors of the galactic community. The future, Lurax realized, was brighter than ever, illuminated by the indomitable spirit of humanity. In the decades following the Void Swarm crisis, humanity's integration into the galactic community accelerated at an unprecedented pace. Earth became a hub of interstellar activity, with alien embassies dotting every continent and human innovations spreading across the cosmos. The Sydney spaceport bustled with activity as Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now head of the Terran Institute for Xenotechnology, prepared to unveil humanity's latest breakthrough. A crowd of diverse alien species gathered, their anticipation palpable. Ladies, gentlemen, and beings of all designations, Elena began, her voice carrying across the assembly. Today we present the Nexus Drive, a fusion of human ingenuity and alien wisdom that will revolutionize interstellar travel. The holographic display behind her flickered to life, showing a sleek engine design that seemed to defy conventional physics. By combining Scathar quantum folding techniques with Earth's chaos theory algorithms, we've created a drive capable of crossing the galaxy in mere days, without the need for traditional hyperspace lanes. The audience erupted in a cacophony of excited clicks, whistles, and translated exclamations. The implications were staggering. This technology would reshape galactic commerce, exploration, and society itself. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, in the lush rainforests of Brazil, Dr. Amina Okoro led a team of human and alien scientists in a groundbreaking ecological project. They were adapting Earth's diverse biomes to terraform previously uninhabitable worlds. The key, Amina explained to a visiting Galactic Council delegation, is in the symbiotic relationships we've observed in Earth's ecosystems. By introducing carefully selected Earth species alongside native alien flora and fauna, we're creating self-sustaining, thriving new environments on worlds once thought lost. The success of these projects led to a galaxy-wide initiative, with Earth at its center, to restore planets ravaged by pollution, war, or natural disasters. Humanity's long and painful history of environmental mistakes had, ironically, positioned them as leaders in planetary restoration. In orbit above Earth, the first Terran Space Academy opened its doors to students from across the galaxy. Here, the unique human approach to problem-solving and innovation was taught alongside advanced alien technologies and philosophies. Hiroshi Tanaka, no longer the teenager who helped save the galaxy, but now a respected professor, addressed the inaugural class. Our strength lies not in our technology, which is still catching up to galactic standards, but in our creativity, our ability to think outside the box, and our relentless determination. These are the gifts we bring to the stars. Human art, music, and culture spread rapidly through galactic society, sparking new forms of creative expression. The concept of fiction, stories crafted purely from imagination, was particularly revolutionary to many alien species. Maya, the young girl who once averted an interstellar incident, had grown into a celebrated author. Her novel, Starborn, a tale of a young alien finding her place on Earth, became the first human work to win the prestigious Galactic Nebula Prize for Literature. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Human corporations, driven by profit motives unfamiliar to many alien cultures, began to expand aggressively into new markets. This led to tensions and debates about economic systems and regulations on a galactic scale. Additionally, some conservative alien factions viewed humanity's rapid rise with suspicion and fear. Whispers of Earth supremacy movements began to circulate in some corners of the galaxy. To address these concerns, Captain Jack Harper, now an admiral, spearheaded the formation of the Galactic Peacekeeping Force, a multi-species organization dedicated to maintaining stability and fostering understanding across the cosmos. "We've seen the best and worst of what humanity can do," Jack told the Galactic Council during the Force's inauguration. "We've made mistakes, but we've learned from them. This force isn't about enforcing human values, but about working together to create a safer galaxy for all." As Earth marked its centennial as part of the galactic community, High Counselor Vex'ahlia herself visited the planet to deliver a speech at the United Nations. 100 years ago, we wondered if humanity was ready for the stars, she began, her iridescent scales shimmering under the lights. Today, we wonder how we ever managed without them. Humans have taught us to question our assumptions, to find new solutions to old problems, and to never give up hope in the face of adversity. She paused, her gaze sweeping across the assembly. But perhaps most importantly, they've reminded us of something we'd begun to forget in our long history: the sheer joy of discovery, the thrill of pushing boundaries, and the power of dreaming big. As Vex'ahlia's words were broadcast across Earth and to countless worlds beyond, Dr. Lyrax, now elderly but still sharp, watched from her home in New Delhi. She thought back to that first contact, to all the fears and doubts that had plagued the galactic community. Humanity had indeed changed the galaxy, she reflected. They had brought chaos, yes, but also vitality, innovation, and a renewed sense of wonder. The future was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril, but one thing was clear: the galaxy would never be the same again. And perhaps, Lyrax thought with a smile, that was exactly what it needed. A millennium had passed since humanity first stepped onto the galactic stage. The once tiny blue planet called Earth had become a nexus of interstellar culture, commerce, and innovation. On this momentous day, as the galaxy prepared to celebrate 1,000 years of human integration, an ancient being prepared to address the Galactic Council one last time. Zhen, the last of the contemplatives, floated serenely at the center of the grand chamber. Its ethereal form, barely corporeal after eons of existence, shimmered with an inner light that held the rapt attention of every being present. "Friends, colleagues, citizens of the cosmos," Zhen began, its voice a whisper that somehow reached every corner of the vast chamber. 1,000 years ago, I stood in this very spot and spoke of the potential I saw in a young, brash species called humans. Today, I stand before you to reflect on how that potential has reshaped our galaxy. Holographic displays flickered to life around the chamber, showing scenes from the past millennium of galactic history. Humans working alongside aliens to terraform dead worlds, pioneering new forms of art that blended cultures across species boundaries, leading diplomatic missions that brought ancient enemies to the negotiating table. The humans brought with them a chaotic energy, Zhen continued, a restless spirit that challenged our long-held assumptions and pushed us to grow in ways we never imagined. They taught us to question, to dream, to reach beyond what we thought possible. The images shifted, showing the darker moments of human history in the galaxy, resource conflicts on frontier worlds, cultural clashes that led to violence, the rise and fall of demagogues who preyed on fear and prejudice. But they also brought conflict. Gen acknowledged, its form flickering slightly. Their ambition and their fears sometimes led them, and us, down dangerous paths. Yet even in these moments, humanity's capacity for self-reflection and change shone through. They faced their mistakes, learned from them, and worked tirelessly to make amends. New images appeared, humans leading efforts to repair ecological damage, fostering programs to preserve endangered alien cultures, championing reforms in the Galactic Council to give voice to marginalized species. In many ways, humanity became the conscience of our galactic society, Gen mused. Their shorter lifespans gave them a sense of urgency, a desire to see change within their lifetime. This drive pushed us all to evolve, to address injustices we had long ignored. The chamber fell silent as Gen paused, its form seeming to pulse with emotion. But perhaps humanity's greatest gift to us was something simpler, something we had almost forgotten in our long history among the stars. The holographs now showed scenes of everyday life across the galaxy. Human children playing with young aliens in zero-gravity parks, multi-species families sharing meals, researchers from 100 worlds collaborating on grand projects with unbridled enthusiasm. They reminded us of the joy of discovery, Gen said, its voice warm with affection. The thrill of facing the unknown, the simple pleasure of learning something new. In their wonder, we rediscovered our own. As Gen spoke, many in the chamber found themselves reflecting on their own experiences with humans. Dr. Lurax, now long gone, was remembered as a pioneer in human-alien relations. The legends of Elena Rodriguez, Amina Okoro, and Jack Harper were taught in schools across the galaxy. And countless other humans, named and unnamed, had left their mark on history. As I prepare to leave this plane of existence, Gen continued, its form beginning to fade slightly. I look to the future with hope. The challenges we face are great. The mysteries of dark matter still elude us. The threat of cosmic phenomena we don't yet understand looms on the horizon. And the task of bridging divides between vastly different forms of life remains ever present. Gen's form brightened once more, pulsing with a final surge of energy. But I have faith. Faith in the resilience we've developed, the bonds we've forged, and the spirit of exploration and cooperation that humanity has ignited in us all. The next 1,000 years may bring trials we cannot foresee, but together, humans and aliens alike, we will face them. As Gen's form began to dissipate, its final words echoed through the chamber and across the countless worlds tuned into the broadcast. Remember this day, not as an ending, but as a beginning. The story of humanity among the stars is still being written, and each of us holds a pen. May the next chapter be one of wisdom, compassion, and endless discovery. With those words, Gen faded from view, leaving behind a chamber filled with beings from across the cosmos, united in contemplation of their shared past and the boundless potential of their future. As the Galactic Council session adjourned, delegates filed out, their conversations a mix of reverent reflection and excited speculation about what the next millennium might bring. In the great tapestry of galactic civilization, humanity's thread had become inextricably woven, adding vibrant colors and unexpected patterns to a cosmic masterpiece still in the making. The age of humanity among the stars had only just begun.